Seen a few baby carrots in my day. So that's probably why I made my 2020 resolution, which is I'm swearing off dating, and I'm gonna instead focus on marrying Chris Evans. I'm gonna use all of the energy I was using swiping to just use my brain to be like, you're in love with this woman in Chicago, go find her. It's perfect, it's not going to fail. There's no way. Implying that I'm giving up dating implies that I was dating, which is a stretch. I had all of the apps, I was on all of the apps, but I'm 34, and dating on, OkCupid or Hinge or whatever when you're 34 is difficult because you see everything through a new filter, and that filter is called desperation. Because, clock's ticking and it's about to be last call for your ovaries, so suddenly the guy who's 42 recently divorced. All of his profile pictures are of him kissing his dog, and his whole profile is what he thinks about The Office and IPAs. He suddenly kind of looks good. So when he messages me, inevitably, hey beautiful, I find myself responding instead of ignoring it with, hey average. So that's been my experience on the dating apps. So sometimes I'm like, well, why don't you try meeting people in person, right? This is a big city, there are a lot of people here. Well, here's my problem, I'm 8 years old. So when I meet a guy in person that I like, I can't act like a functioning adult. I start to sweat, my face gets red, I start to stammer and talk really fast. So I'm currently working, I'll give you an example, I'm currently working at a coffee chain as a barista. You can guess which one. You're smart people. And there's this guy who comes in who I've decided to have a crush on. I don't know much about him, but he's cute, so I have a crush on him. And he comes in and he orders his venti coffee. That's a clue. And I find myself, whenever he comes in, I'm like, hi, do you want room for cream? Do you want a croissant? Do you want to go in the back and impregnate me? It hasn't worked so far, but the other day he got his coffee and he went to go to the condiment station, and suddenly he turns around and I'm like, this is it! This is it. He's coming back, he's gonna ask me for my number, and instead he's just like, you're out of sugar. And in my head, I was just like, oh, I have plenty of sugar for you, baby. But, you always think of it too late. In reality, I just kind of stammered and I was like, I'll get some. Dating's not my strength. Part of it was it took me forever to figure out my sexual orientation. I was like, I don't know what I like, what do I like? And then I finally figured it out after years of trial and error. It's not a choice because I am disappointedly straight. I would change that if I could. Another thing is, are you familiar with love languages? Most people probably know about those. So I was trying to figure out what my love language is. I'm like, words of affirmation, I don't really like when people say nice things to me, I don't really deserve it. Physical touch, I don't know if you've washed your hands, so let's maybe stay away from that one. So I finally figured out, though, recently what my love language is, and it's trash talk. I love trash talk more than anything in the world. I grew up outside of Boston, so I'm a big Boston sports fan. I'm sorry, not really. No, I'm not sorry. And I have realized that it really kind of turns me on when people insult my teams. I know because you're all haters because we're so good, but when you insult my teams, it turns me on. This is what I turn into. Say I'm talking to a man about sports. Oh yeah? Tom Brady's a cheetah? Yeah? The Patriot who threw an interception and the Patriots didn't go to the Super Bowl this year? That's hot. That's real hot, yeah? The Red Sox fired their manager? Okay. I'm wicked hot turned on right now. Wicked hot, baby. This one for my friend Stephanie in the front. I'd be like, the Bruins lost the Stanley Cup, man, I'm wicked turned on. So, she's so embarrassed right now. So anyway, where was I? Totally lost my train of thought on that one, that's what I get. So I find myself being like, oh yeah, you want to come back to my place and talk about how the Yankees haven't won a World Series in 10 years? If there's any Yankees fans in the audience, come find me, we'll do it. I decided decided, okay, fine, this is, dating, whatever, it's not for me. What can I focus on in 2020 besides Chris Evans? And that is me and my health and my physical being. So I started going to the gym, Planet Fitness because I'm cheap, and I'm a barista. So the other day was at the gym, I was on the elliptical, and it was great. It was a full empty row, no one next to me. And then within like 2 minutes, person comes on my left, person on my right. This is really rude, but I'm like, okay, fine, this is fine. And then I look at both of them, and they're both like really physically fit, and I am not. And I'm like, I'm surrounded by two incredibly fit people as a fat person. This is terrorism. And suddenly I'm just like, oh my God, they're gonna take me to some secret Planet Fitness black site. Jillian Michaels is gonna come waterboard me until I say mean things about Lizzo. And I'm just like, truth hurts, like what, like, and so I was like, that's it. I did 5 minutes, that's enough. Like, baby steps, Jillian, baby steps. And then I was like, no, you know what? I committed to 15 minutes, and I'm gonna do my full 15 minutes because I don't negotiate with terrorists.